it's always good to have one-on-one conversations. Who Sachin is, what
Sure.
you specifically do.
So I completed my BTech, which in Mumbai University is known as B, Bachelor of Engineering. That
Hmm.
was the right time when and the IT industry was on its uptake. So the start to the career was nice. Then I did my MBA with Melbourne Business School. The third semester, I decided to do
Hmm.
an exchange with Rotterdam School of Management. It was a very unique and very fulfilling experience for me. In
From an
that sense,
entrepreneurship perspective, that is also something many do, right? Get into their own businesses.
2012, I left my job at TCS. I started it was a tech product, but
Mm-hmm.
we are very naive. First, lot of mistakes,
Mm.
some intentional, some
Mm.
just the excitement of doing things. Hi Ram, how are you? I'm fine. I'm doing well. Yeah.
Good, good, good. So
Thank you for
thanks
having me
for
here on this show.
yeah, more than welcome. And in fact, as I have been talking about it in our EdTech WhatsApp group, right? It's always good to have one-on-one conversations. Of course, group conversations are always there,
Right.
and every day, we keep passing on messages and some of the challenges, some of the happenings in our lives. But one-on-one would basically give the audience, the especially the members of the WhatsApp group, in terms of who Sachin is, what
Sure.
you specifically do,
Sure.
and if there are any synergies, collaborations that they feel that they can, they need to contact you, they can always do. So,
Sure.
from that standpoint, thanks for
Sure.
volunteering. So to start with, if you can share with us your educational journey, right, post your schooling,
Sure.
especially I know for a fact that you did your undergraduation here and then you went to Australia and probably had a joint thing in Netherlands too. If
Sure.
you can walk us through, then
Right.
we will take it forward from there.
So I completed my BTech, which in Mumbai University is known as B, Bachelor of Engineering, from VJTI Mumbai. So that was in 1999, and that
Hmm.
was the right time when the entire Y2K thing and the IT industry was on its uptake, and so the start to the career was amazing. In that sense, easily got
So you
placed
did work
on.
on Y2K?
No, I didn't work on Y2K, but means a lot of, I think India started getting those projects. Y2K was more or
Correct,
less
correct.
done by that time, but it was established that Indians can move. So within my first year itself, I got an opportunity to move to the US and experience in
Hmm.
2000s. In those days. So the start to the career was nice, but
Hmm.
uh, coming from a middle class background, and then parents expecting work and things like that.
Right.
The feeling that I wanted to study more was always there. So
Hmm.
the first 5-6 years I worked with TCS. I worked with Nokia R&D division, and the entire thing was
Hmm.
I want to save some money so that I can go abroad and do my masters. And then that opportunity came in 2006. So I cleared my
Hmm.
GMAT. I got into an MBA school. So Melbourne Business School
Hmm.
was amongst the top 25, 30 business schools in the world at that point in time. And
So, yeah, if I can ask you about your TCS and
sure, sure.
your career journey there,
Yeah.
what kind of role or position that you
So my entire journey in TCS was with
hmm.
Nortel Networks. It was one of the very big
Okay,
telecom
right.
equipment providers, and the unit that I was working with in TCS, we were not doing
Hmm.
support functions. We were actually working on the base stations, on the switching components, and so on. So
Nice.
uh, thanks to that opportunity and the start that I got with TCS, my concepts
Mm,
of telecommunication and the signaling. We are basically working
mm,
on CDMA protocol, which was used in the
mm.
US, and
Right,
the rest of the world was GSM, but US used to use CDMA. My understanding of the protocol knowledge and the stacks, everything, it went notch above. And I
correct.
actually got into the Nokia CDMA R&D division, in 2004. It
Right.
was based out of.
And I still remember we the first time the phones came in. You always have to look at whether it is GSM or CDMA or
Right, right,
right, and especially when if you were to go to the US, then you had to switch.
right, right.
Right? Yeah,
And
yeah.
the
Interesting.
CDMA phones used to be tied to the operator. That was another distinct feature.
Ah, correct,
So they were
correct,
not
correct.
portable, that you could just remove a SIM. And so there was no concept of SIM cards with CDMA. It came programmed, or it were tied to the operators. So
Right.
that was my journey. So 1 year into CDMA R&D in the engineering. So total
Mm,
6.5 years of experience, and I did my MBA with Melbourne Business School. It was a 4 semester program for about a
mm,
year and a half, or slightly more than a year and a half. Out of
mm,
which the third semester, I decided to do
mm,
an exchange with Rotterdam School of Management, which again in those days was among the top 15, 16 MBA schools in the world at that point in time. So that was a very unique and very fulfilling experience for me. About
right.
15, 16 months in Australia and about 4 months in Netherlands, and learning possibly from some of the best professors in those schools. So
Right. And why Australia?
So couple of things, means I wanted to balance out uh, how much money I had saved, and
Right, right.
what where I wanted to learn. So
Yeah,
possibly because I was kind of self-funding my education, US was out of consideration for me.
yeah.
So that left me
Mm,
with what are the other best schools
right.
in so Singapore, Australia, and then probably some schools of Europe were in my list. And also
Mm,
the fact that I had worked in Nokia, and while working in Nokia, it was very clear that Asia is really becoming a very key market, especially the way I was seeing Nokia investing in
mm,
Indonesia, in India, in Australia, and some of these regions. I also got to travel a lot when I was working with Nokia, across the world, APAC region. So yes, US was out of bounds possibly for the money, but I think overall I also wanted to do it in maybe Singapore or Australia, and then Australia being an English speaking country. So one of the things that tilted my decision in favor of Australia was that it was an English speaking country. And when I went
mhm.
through the student profiles, roughly in my class, approximately 40 nationalities were represented, in one class.
I see.
So that
Mm,
was one of the critical things that made me choose, Melbourne and this Australian education. Just the fact that I'll be sitting in a class with people from 40 different nationalities, and exchanging ideas,
mm,
their thoughts, and so on. So
right,
that was the decision, and then it was falling in my budget. I took a small loan, and it all went well. And extrapolating that to the Netherlands things, in the
mm.
Netherlands, in my class there were about 60 nationalities. Means countries like
Oh,
Moldova, Israel, Iran, and things like that.
right.
And having
And did you have to learn Dutch or
no. So again, that's the
right,
advantage with Netherlands. It's
right,
English is very much the spoken
correct,
language there. So these were
right.
some of the factors why Australia and Netherlands came into the decision making for me.
Mm, right. And if I were to, before we go into your next set of your career journey, what would be your advice? Especially see now with all the things which are happening in the US,
Mm.
where the number of visas are being curtailed, even for student visas,
Right,
right? Obviously, many students want to go abroad for obvious reasons, just like you and me probably ventured out, right?
right.
Would you feel that I'm sure you would have come across many others. who would have probably studied in the US and other countries. What is your take on Australian kind of education? Is it I'm not talking about the quality. I'm sure the quality is there across, but in terms of access, in terms of the environment, and the research oriented and all those things, would you still recommend Australia?
Yeah, it's a very good educational hub, especially Melbourne. Just like we say,
Mm,
Pune is the educational hub of India, kind of thing. Melbourne is the educational hub out there, and it's a very
hmm.
safe. It's a very safe city. Means I remember walking on the streets at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Mm.
And there was hardly any instances where I felt threatened or endangered, and it's. From an academic perspective, they're very serious. I don't have any first-hand experience of an American education, but
Hmm.
both Australian and Dutch education, academic focus is very high. Your own research, plagiarism, and things like that. So if you really want a high quality education, and then their system of the citizenship and the residency, it's very well defined. So you
Right.
can just follow the process, and if somebody is interested in making Australia residence for quite some time, if they understand the process and they apply as soon as they reach or start their first semester, hopefully by end of third year or something, they should be in a good position. So if that is on somebody's
Uh,
mind, yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's a good place. Means I
right.
really
Right.
look back, and I treasure the moments spent there.
Great. And I have to ask you this question, having been in Australia yourself, right? So I'm sure you would have been following rugby or other sports,
Right.
right? Which they
Melbourne
are
is
very
also the
passionate. Of
sports
course,
capital. Means
sports capital, correct? Right. And also, I think everybody swims there. They do a lot of surfing and,
right,
especially boating,
right,
right? So, because most of the cities, I didn't know this before, and most of the cities are around the shores,
right.
and
So it's just around.
right,
Hardly
correct,
anything in
correct.
the
And if
interiors. Yeah.
in the middle part of it, right, and I didn't know that, until recently, and very interesting. And I thought, I should ask that question to you.
So it used to be
Right.
very nice. Means just take you get a full transport pass. Bus, tram, train. Just
Mm,
pick a destination on a weekend. Just go there. See using the same pass or whatever you can,
right.
and just enjoy. It's a very experiential country. Means you see a lot of diversity, multiculturalism. It's
Mm,
it's amazing. Because the when I said that 40 nationalities were represented in my class, it was also what happens in that country and in that city. Means it's a very
correct,
very
correct.
diverse and all encompassing, inviting place for people, all kinds of foods, all kinds of cultures, all kind of people.
Right, right. Good, good. So what happened next? So you came back
Yeah, I
after
came back.
your,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had lost my
Uh-huh.
father early on, so I'm the only
I see.
child. My mother was
Mm,
there. So when I went itself, I didn't harbor any aspirations of, working there, because it would
hmm.
have been very difficult. So after I came back, I joined Nokia again. Luckily, there was a role, but it was more of a techno sales role for APAC
Hmm.
region. And
Hmm.
Nokia was doing very well, that is 2007. But then by 2009, then things started to, and then Nokia had to lay off people, close down some units. So at
This
that
was in
time,
India.
yeah, in India, globally
Where
also.
were you based out of?
I was based out of Mumbai only.
Mumbai. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
So then they decided to close the Mumbai unit and move to Bangalore. But I decided the
mhm.
severance package was very good, so I thought it makes sense to take the severance package and
Right.
look for something here. And so then I joined Nokia. I joined TCS again. I got into the mobility division.
Hmm.
Mobile apps was the in thing in those days, 2010. And
Right. Right.
by the time, after my MBA, the bug of entrepreneurship had caught on to me. So So
Mm.
even though I was back working, my mind was
Mm.
always, thinking of ideas, what to do, how to do. Sometime talking to one set of friends, sometime talking to another set of friends. And by
And you are
2000,
also from Mumbai,
yeah, I'm also from
right? That
yeah. So
right?
talking to my
No, no.
engineering
From an
batchmates,
entrepreneurship perspective,
yeah, yeah.
right?
So yeah, yeah.
That is also something
Right.
many do, right? Get into their own businesses. Yeah.
So 2012, I left my job at TCS. I started it was a tech product with a couple of my engineering batchmates. So we
Mm-hmm.
ran the show for about 21, 22 months, and
Mm-hmm.
it was supposed to be a CRM for the Indian market, but
Mm-hmm.
we are very naive first thing with entrepreneurship. A lot of mistakes, some intentional, some
Mm-hmm.
just the excitement of doing things. So
Right.
and then we closed that, and
Mm-hmm.
then I worked for this company in Bangalore, which was bought over by Genpact. But I returned to Mumbai. I joined L&T. I worked
Mm-hmm.
there for about a year and a half. But like the bug of entrepreneurship was always wriggling, So then I left my job
Yeah.
in 2016, and I started Digital
Mm-hmm.
Dojo. So Digital Dojo
Mm-hmm.
started off because I used to enjoy teaching, even when I was in TCS. I won awards for
Mm-hmm.
best trainer, means learning and then teaching it to your colleagues and in Nokia and in between
Mm-hmm.
wherever. So I used to enjoy teaching, and like my mother always
So
says,
this was all in the teaching and was all in the area of your expertise, which
yeah, it
was
was
in
all
the
telecom, the
networks,
protocol stack,
telecom
the
networks.
signaling,
Right.
stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
uh, one of the things, my mother always says, like teaching once is learning twice. So my last role in L&T was of IoT business manager. So this was in
Mm-hmm.
2014, when
Mm.
not many had even heard of IoT. It was very new, and I got
Right.
fascinated with IoT. And I felt the best way to gain a foothold in what IoT is just pick up some colleges, go and pick up some institutes, just go and talk about IoT. And when I'm talking, I'll eventually learn more about it, because nobody knew. Of course, it's been there for a long time, but not many people knew IoT in 2013, 14, when I was working. So
Mm.
luckily, one
Mm.
of my friends is a professor in engineering college here. Then couple of my friends are associated with IEEE, you know. So we just picked up, okay, I'm coming and I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
an IoT lecture here. I'm coming and I'm doing an IoT lecture there. And somehow those sessions went well, and people
Mm.
started demanding more of these lectures.
Mm.
And the last few months when I was in
Right.
L&T, I did a lot of these lectures. Almost every engineering college in Maharashtra through IEEE, I have visited and
Mm-hmm.
done an
Mm-hmm.
IoT lecture. So this was around 2015, 16 kinds,
Mm.
and then I felt that this is fun, this is enjoyable, and there seems to be a
Mm.
market. So I started Digital Dojo with initially started with
Mm.
IoT based learning, training, some courses, something on YouTube and stuff like that. And I had a very small team to help me with the
Mm.
research, some IoT projects, from a training perspective. And the
Mm-hmm.
movement to
Mm-hmm.
Digital Dojo came in 2016, kind of end 17 start, when I thought that
Okay.
IoT means, I'll tell you the decision point. IoT is a technology, and I'd
Mm-hmm.
seen with CDMA, that sometimes even the best technologies can fail in front of market, what the market needs, or what's driven in the market. So, and when you're teaching
Correct.
technical stuff or technology stuff, you need to be two steps ahead of the people who are learning from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that it would be too much of a task, to always be
Right.
two steps ahead in terms of what your learners are expecting.
Mm.
And marketing was something very close to me. My
Mm.
MBA was also with marketing, and digital marketing was really picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And with the first startup,
Mm.
in 2012, 13, I was looking at the marketing of
Right.
marketing sales. So all these Facebook,
Okay.
websites, YouTube. So I was really looking at
Mm.
that side of the business in the startup. So using that, so everything plays its role. So
Sure.
using that experience with
Absolutely.
marketing, how it is going, a few months of I said this
Mm-hmm.
looks interesting. Then I approached one of the MBA
Mm-hmm.
colleges in Pune, and they were also thinking about digital
Mm-hmm.
marketing. So we sat down together. We designed the course curriculum. I started teaching digital marketing there. Then the
Mm-hmm.
Ministry of Government had started,
Okay.
under the skills development, some digital marketing courses across different cities. So they kind of contracted me for a few months,
Mm.
and then my knowledge of digital marketing, I had the practical knowledge, the
Oh,
theoretical things, and I thought that this is good. I can master it,
right.
and probably 5 to 6 years. I can you know
Mm.
kind of recycle with some additions every year, rather than IoT, where I would have to create new things every
Right.
couple of
Right.
months. So that was a decision point, end of
Yeah.
2016,
Yeah. Yeah.
start of 17. I said let's pivot to digital marketing, and let's keep IoT more like a passion or
Mm.
hobby, where I'm learning for my own thing, but not
Mm.
to teach.
Right, right. See, IoT is still kind of, there are many devices,
Right,
which are coming up with IoT, and it has its own, upswing in terms
right,
of,
right,
right? But considering that, you still, as you said, you still have that as an
yeah,
hobby.
right.
Now, when you taught these courses,
Hmm.
right? Did these institutes and colleges, did they also have a lab that you were associated with to
So
help the
no, they
students to
didn't
build
have.
IoT
So
devices or
no. So a lot of the
yeah,
times the request used
okay.
to be, can you get us some kits? So arranging for the Arduinos and the thing. It
Huh,
started from there, because nobody knew, in
right.
2015, 16,
Huh.
what is IoT. So I had to carry the
Correct.
Arduinos with me. And there are a lot of colleges who said, bring 30, 40 Arduinos, because here in
Hmm.
Mumbai there is a place called Lamington Road, where you get them. It's like a gray market for all
Right.
these things, and it's
Hmm.
pretty cheap. So if on Amazon you bought it for 1,000 rupees, here you would get it for 400, 450 rupees, kind of the thing. So I used to, they used to say bring 30 Arduinos with us, and
Right.
with the
Yeah.
devices that I carried, they set up a small unit, and where people could use Arduinos in their lab. So as far as
Right.
Ahmednagar or some Lonere, these kind of places which are kind of interior in Maharashtra, so this used to be the requirement. A lot of the times
Hmm.
triple E used to fund this. They used to tell me, take this 40 kids, this is the money, go and
I see.
teach and leave the kids there, kind of thing.
Hmm. Right. 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 Yeah. 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 Good. Good. So, that's when you pivoted and you kind of kept IoT as a hobby and then
Right.
started
Digital
digital
marketing.
marketing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's the start of the other venture that you have, right? So
Digital
Infusion
no no.
Multimedia
So digital dojo is the tech.
or the digital dojo.
Yeah.
D-
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
then I pivoted
So
to.
in digital, yeah. Go ahead.
And while I was, so initially it was, filling up the room, teaching 20 people, 40 people,
Mm,
50 people. And then as an entrepreneur, you're
mm,
always thinking of, how do I scale this? How do I bring more money in? That's
correct.
the thing.
Right.
So in 2018
Mm,
start, I thought, let me create video courses. So
mm.
again, in those days, I used to see that most of the video courses were, slides and people talking through points. And I felt that,
Presentations. Yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
I felt that it needs to be a little
Mm,
bit more interesting, more like Tom and Jerry kind of thing. So I got a couple of
mhm,
people who were good with videos and all, and we created, an
mhm.
animated kind of courses in digital marketing, where things are moving
Oh,
constantly, something is happening. So the
right.
basic principle behind that is we all have five senses, the eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and touch. And the more senses that are involved in the process of education, better is the learning.
Mm,
So again,
absolutely.
the theory at that point in time was, when you're looking at the slides based education, your eyes tend to
Mm,
quickly go through all the bullet points, and you're waiting for the next slide kind of thing to come up, means, and then people would just move the slide and they would just read through the slides and the training was done. So I felt that we need to involve few more senses, so the next
Yeah.
obvious sense was the ear, so eyes and ears, so then I thought, so that the best thing was what keeps children interested, so cartoons, animations where something is happening, sound is there, so let's
Correct.
use sound and the visuals. And none of my
Mm.
videos were slide based, they were all
I see.
animation based and things like that.
Animation and
Yeah.
made it very interesting and experiential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I made those videos. Then I also had this
Mhm.
vision that by, I wanted to be, if not the first, at least amongst the first fully digital education institute of India, so videos
Mm.
was there, then live sessions would be there, then exams. I had also taken up a proctoring service in 2018 where students could give their exam
Mhm.
and they were proctored, continuously. All my certifications were blockchain, so I had a tool for that,
I see.
so people could
Oh.
actually go and verify their certification if they did the course with me. So without any physical room or without any physical infrastructure, the vision was to build a completely digital infrastructure, and I succeeded in that. So in 2019 mid,
Mm.
it was all ready, and
Good.
then COVID struck, so
Right. Right. No, which is actually good, right? So for you, in hindsight, if you were to look at it, you had everything on
right. But
videos,
that,
and you could easily upload it.
yeah, so I was ready, but
Yeah.
COVID actually was
Uh,
not good for me, means what
oh, I
happened
see.
is that
Mm.
everybody felt the need to go online, and
Correct.
the competition was, I won't say bad in that sense, but people were offering courses
Yeah.
for 200 rupees, 500 rupees,
Ah,
1000 rupees.
right. Right.
And then when if I come
Mm.
out and tell that, my course is maybe, then it's
A much higher.
yeah, much higher in the sense
Yeah.
because I had all this course, blockchain certification, proctoring of exam,
Correct.
hosting of videos, the LMS used to cost
Mm.
me, whereas somebody would just come and say 500 rupees entire digital marketing course. And this means I always believe that, if you want to do it right, you need to support also the student, it's not just about
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so I
Correct.
felt that it's better to hold back till the market, because
Mm.
having taught marketing, one thing was very clear to me, means you can always take your prices down, but moving the price up is not in your control, so if I decided
Correct.
to
Correct.
take my price down, never in the future I would have been able to again move the price point up, because when
Increase
the
it. Yeah.
market, the
Right.
value of that product or whatever gets set, then it's very difficult. So through the COVID
Yeah.
period, I kind of held my edtech back, and everybody was means obviously I was bootstrapped, means some marketing budgets and all were
Mm.
very. So I held back. So luckily for me,
Hmm.
because of my tech background, I had some consulting projects. So
Good.
my COVID time went through that, and post COVID I again
Hmm.
started digital dojo. But at every point in time, I maintained my creative team. Means creating videos, doing that. So
Mm.
that was about digital dojo. Means digital marketing,
Right. Right.
the
And
art.
all these are so in digital dojo. What kind of obviously you would divide this digital marketing into several courses, right?
Right. So I tried everything,
Right.
means one big course, four
Okay.
months, then,
Mm.
social
Mm.
media marketing, SEO, email marketing. So I did everything.
Mm.
The only thing I did is
Okay.
in the big course, which is 4 to 5 months, there used to be live lectures, along with the video recordings. So if somebody
Ah, I see. Okay.
wanted to do it really well, then they had to invest
Hmm.
their time. Means even in those days, I used
Correct.
to hear some people used to come and say, "I want to do only SEO. I want to do only social media marketing." Then the kind of thought is,
Mm.
because what happens, if somebody wants to learn SEO or somebody wants to learn social
Hmm.
media marketing, you have to understand that the
Yeah.
last word is marketing. Okay, so unless you
Right.
understand the philosophy and the principles of marketing, everything else would just be,
Yeah.
understanding the upper level, but if you don't understand what the base, because even with digital marketing, the principles of marketing have not changed. You have, it's just how you apply
Correct,
them
correct,
has changed. So if
correct.
somebody comes and says, I
So the
want to learn
digital
social
part
media
of it is
marketing,
just a correct. The digital part of it is just a means to an end,
right,
right? It's a
right.
different form of marketing.
So
So
eventually
what
it's
you're saying
marketing,
is
yeah,
basic, correct. Eventually, you have to understand how marketing works.
works,
What are the fundamentals of marketing?
right,
How
right.
you apply it in a digital form
That's
in
digital
terms
marketing.
of SEO and all those things is something that
Right.
it's a means to an end.
Right. So you
Yeah,
cannot learn SEO without learning marketing. In a sense, means obviously you cannot go to the
correct,
depth of
correct,
it, but at least your basic understanding
correct.
of marketing should be there. So if somebody comes to me and says, I want to
Mm,
learn SEO or I want to learn social media marketing, if I tell him, sit first, I
yeah,
will explain to you what is marketing. So probably that person
correct,
wouldn't have, means he wouldn't even understand, why do I need to learn
correct,
marketing, and
correct.
obviously it would mean a increase in cost, whereas people others are
Absolutely.
teaching SS, social media marketing, but if I had to teach marketing and then teach social media marketing, then obviously everything there is an escalation. So the best
Correct, correct.
thought process was
So what
just
I would like you to do, Sachin, is, if I sorry to interrupt,
sure.
is if you can give me a very simple example, right? Say it's not only me, others also in the member group and others who are watching this, right? Would like to know if through an example, right? What does marketing mean? And then apply the digital part of it to it.
So for me, the basics of marketing are very clear. It's what we call
Mm,
STP, segmentation,
mm.
targeting, positioning, and then the four Ps. So whatever has happened between 1985 to 2025, these principles are still the same, because
Right,
it means you had asked me, whether, so I'm willing to do a foundational marketing, forget digital marketing, a foundational marketing course
correct.
where how do you segment, because if you don't, you need to segment and you need to target.
Exactly.
If you choose a
Correct.
particular, you see, nobody has the resources. When I say resources, I mean money, time, and energy. Even the richest guys, even
Right.
they will know which business they want to get into. They will not, they will. So you need to select whom you want to go after. There will be others who will come
So
to you.
let me, yeah. So let me take this up as an example. Obviously, you would have your own fundamental foundational course,
Right.
but if I were to, let's say, develop a particular product or a service
Okay.
for students,
Okay.
right? Let's say it is B2C,
Okay.
right? The segment that I would go after is B2C.
Right.
Now, irrespective of whether it is digital or other means, it doesn't really matter. From a marketing perspective, I need to identify the segment,
Right.
right? Then within that segment, what is the age group that I need to look at? Who's
Right.
the target audience? Is it really the parents? Is it really the student? Is
Right.
it the teacher in the
This
school?
is
Is
a
it
great
the
example.
principal in the school?
Especially in an
Correct.
example like this, there is a concept of consumer
Right.
versus customer. So who's consuming
Correct.
versus who is the customer. Even schools, colleges,
Correct.
for example. So one of the examples I
Correct.
use in my,
Right.
so if a college wants to market its course, or its program, let's say there is an MBA college, they want to market their MBA program.
Right.
Is it sufficient for them to
Yeah.
just target the students? It's not, because if they want to target the students, they can talk about cultural activities, they can talk about, how the city is, what are the different,
Sports and things like
right.
that. Correct.
But once the student
Yeah.
and the parents sit down and the parents do not have a favorable opinion of that institute, it's not going to work. The sale is not going to happen. So when they're looking at marketing the program,
Correct.
students are one target and parents are another target. So
Mm.
the parents need to be told about the library, the faculty
Correct.
members,
Correct.
what is the placement ratio, how which companies are coming. And unless,
Placement. Yeah.
yeah,
Placement is very important. Correct.
unfortunately Indian education is based but yeah, so the point here is the customer and the consumer
Correct.
both need to feel that this program is good, and then the sale
Yeah.
will happen. So a college, though the consumer is
Right.
one, it
Right.
also needs to target its marketing towards the parents, in that sense. Because
No, no, go ahead.
if you choose the wrong segment to target, your entire marketing plan is going to be based on that. And once you
Mm.
derive your marketing strategy plan, You
right.
don't change it, for about a year and a half. Just imagine your
Mm,
starting point is wrong. The entire one and a half year of your marketing efforts are wasted, So the segmentation, targeting, what is your
yeah, yeah.
positioning of the product, service, your company, these are fundamentals that never change. And post that, you come down to your four P's, what is your product strategy, pricing strategy, place strategy, as well as the promotional strategy. The only thing you can tweak
Correct.
once your marketing plan is in motion, the only thing you can change very easily is the promotional strategy. You are on
Mm,
Facebook, then you go to YouTube, then you do events. You cannot change the product strategy, you cannot change
right,
the
right.
distribution strategy, just because something is not working. Market will also not allow you to do that easily. And you are devising a marketing plan for a particular
Yeah.
target. If that target is not chosen, is you make a
Mm,
mistake there, then all your efforts, money in implementing, you may have a
correct.
great marketing plan, but if your target, the audience that you are targeting is
Mm,
not really the right target audience, then it's all going to be a waste of efforts there. So marketing principles and fundamentals are very, very important before you apply
absolutely.
digital marketing. Now what do you do in digital marketing? This is my target, how do I use Facebook for that? This is my target, how, it's not that what is Facebook and how do I use it, no? Or this is my target audience, how do I use a particular
Correct, correct.
medium for that?
No, no, thanks. Yeah, yeah, really thanks for bringing this up because, many, people who just have started their own ventures, who have their own products or services, right? They talk about digital marketing, right? And sometimes you put the cart before
Right,
the horse,
right.
right? Without
Very costly
understanding what
mistake.
the
Yeah,
repercussions are, right? So I think correct, correct. Yeah. Let's talk about your second venture.
yeah. So
How did you get into video and
so like I told you, when I
it's
was
a very interesting one because I did yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let
please
me
go on.
just
Yeah,
finish. So I did go through some of your yeah some of your videos, right? The Tilotama and some of the
Entrepreneurial.
videos. It looks very yeah, yeah. It looks very appealing, and it is for about 7 8 minutes, and it gave me a story, right? And it's very real, and I was glued to it for the 7 8 minutes, right? So how did that journey? I know you had that initial foray into making those videos and all those things, but then when did you start this? What was your thought process behind this?
Sure. So luckily for me, because I was doing videos, the team got good. Our initial videos versus what we were churning out in 22, 23, it was quite good. Means I was one thing I was very sure is that I have
Mm,
a great creative team. You know, and then this entire thing of AI was coming up. A lot of
mm,
tools coming up, and some one day it struck me. Means
mm,
can I use AI for storytelling? And that's when we started experimenting. Before you saw
mm,
Tilotama, we spent at least 6 8 months just experimenting with
mm.
different tools, what is possible, what is not possible. So somewhere
I
in
see.
we also, means
Mm,
I would say it was a it's slightly a pivot from digital dojo, because probably I made us, maybe it's useful for others, I
right.
thought I made a mistake with how I was running digital dojo, because it was a purely B2C. And
Mm,
though initially it was all very encouraging,
mm,
it struck me that B2C, you especially something like a digital marketing or something that is not a multi-year or multi-semester kind of education, you're always chasing customers. And
mm.
when you're always chasing customers,
Correct.
sometimes you
Yeah.
might run out of steam, things things like that. It's a perennial chase for new
Or you
business.
have to keep up with that customer base, right?
Right, right,
Yeah. Or you have to keep up with the customer base,
right,
right, all the time. So
right,
if you had, for example, 100 customers,
right,
right, and unless you keep up with that
There is a
continuously,
next batch
you're
of
going to
100.
drop down on the number of
Right.
customers, and you have to.
So
Correct,
lifetime value, the
correct,
LTV
correct. Yeah,
concept of
yeah,
LTV. No, means
yeah.
I realized that the LTV, though my classes were going well,
Right.
students were enjoying. So it dawned upon me that the LTV, though I enjoy
Mm,
teaching, means I enjoy teaching concepts, core concepts, even today.
mm.
But I also have to look at the money side of things. So the concept of
Correct,
LTV
correct.
versus how much because I do my own marketing, means in a sense, the digital marketing, the cost per lead,
Mm,
cost per
mm.
conversion, all
Yeah,
those things. It
correct.
and with more and more people
Yeah.
using all these digital platforms, the cost of acquiring a lead started going up,
Hmm.
and the only way to
Right,
mitigate
right.
that was to raise the price of courses, but again it's a demand supply thing, and all those
Mm,
principles of economics come
absolutely.
into play. So though I still do some training, coaching, and I do consultancy
Mm,
in digital marketing, but I felt that I need to look at
hmm.
something else
Mm.
also, and that it dawned upon me that why not use my creative team, why
Right,
not use
right.
this AI thing. So obviously it was out of interest, but there's also, it was, I was
Mm,
searching for something where I can use my strength, where I can use things that I enjoy movies, I enjoy storytelling, stuff like that. We did a lot of research, we failed, a lot of
mm,
tools, a lot of money also
mm,
spent in understanding
mm,
the tools. And then we launched our first short
mm,
movie, which was Narsimha. That was
mm,
like December last year. That did very well, on YouTube, obviously. And then in February this year,
mhm.
we launched
Okay,
Tilotama, which is the 8-minute movie that you're speaking. And I don't know, but if you watch it on
correct,
the big
correct.
screen, I mean,
Yeah,
I proudly say that you will feel the cinematic impact on a 55-inch or a 44-inch or a
I
60.
will, I will. I think I will just hook it up on
Yeah.
the big
And
TV and watch
and
it. Yeah,
then it
yeah.
got selected and screened in Baroda Film Festival, just the next month. So that was a real booster
Oh, very
for
nice.
me, that this is possible, with the
Right,
AI tools. And then I started investing more, and
correct.
just 1 week before
Oh,
Ganpati, we launched our first AI web series. I don't know if it's the first, but it's probably one of the first
uh-huh,
purely AI based web series of India. It's called Chandrabedia. It's a concept
uh-huh.
of werewolf mixing with
I see.
Indian cultural and religious thing. And within 4 days,
Culture, heritage. Yeah.
I crossed 1 lakh views, on that, and people are commenting that it bring
Wow.
out the episode too fast. So now we are releasing episode 2 before Diwali. We are working on that, and I see a business there, means if I it's a
Mm,
five I planned it as a 5-episode web
correct.
series, and who knows, I might take it to, if it works, like take it to
Mm,
Netflix or
yeah,
Amazon Prime once it's ready, and who knows, means
correct.
what can happen. But that's the business side of it.
No, who knows?
But
You might become a celebrity, or you are already a celebrity already.
no, so it's just out of, means
Right.
what AI is
No, but
allowing.
correct.
Yeah, what AI is allowing is that,
Yeah.
without equipment, without cameras, without outdoor shoots, just your laptop, your computer,
Mm,
and some subscriptions,
yeah.
you can give shape to what your thoughts and
Right.
ideas are. So that is something that is very powerful. Means I don't want to
Mm,
say that AI is
correct.
going to kill
Correct.
this or kill that, but definitely we need to look at AI with a much broader perspective, than what is being said.
Correct.
So if you, I mean, just
Yeah. No, Sachin, I think you make a very good point here. Yeah. You make a very good point here. I'm just linking back to education, learning, skilling, right? And I think there is a tremendous opportunity here. Maybe some people have already thought about it,
right.
and you have thought about it. But if I were to take it back to education, skilling, training, now the Gen Z of this world,
Mm,
today's world, right? They're all looking at, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know which one is right.
mm,
They're all looking at, okay, can I see a 2 minute video, 3 minute video, 1 minute video, right?
right.
And it might be a good thing, it might be a not so good thing, I don't know. But just when you said that you can do everything in terms of creating your own movie, video, why can't we use it for learning, right? I'm sure in the past they would have done characters and things like that, like a Chanda Mama, for example, right? Today's context, you can actually do a Chanda Mama series,
Right.
with all the animation and all those things,
Right.
right?
Right.
Purely using AI,
Right.
right? So I don't know whether you have explored from that
Yeah,
perspective. I'm sure
it's
there
been
are
on the
others
mind,
who are
Means obviously at
exploring
this,
that.
yeah. But just
Correct.
want to highlight one thing, means
Yeah. Yeah.
AI is a tool or a co-pilot in visual generation,
Yeah.
but it doesn't create a cinematic effect or a
Mm.
storytelling effect.
Right.
It can give you all the sets, all the images, all the videos, but you need
Mm.
to stitch it together using some traditional tools, like Adobe Premiere Pro or an
Mm.
After Effects. So if you see the real movie, if there is no sound, you will not feel the fun of watching the
Mm.
movie. So it is the sounds and the
Absolutely.
visual effects
Correct.
that actually make it worth watching. Now, AI is, I don't know whether it will reach that stage. Vio is trying, but at least it is not at that stage where you can add those effects to those visuals, whether it is image. So that needs to be done by traditional,
Correct.
the editors and things like that. But yes, this idea that means we see when I discuss it with my
No,
friends.
you are right. Yeah.
So when I discuss it with my friends, we see a big
No,
opportunity in
you were saying?
children's education. Means especially
Correct.
the below 8, below
Correct.
10, because there's hardly anything in India that can. They are still looking at some so there's a big opportunity there for Indianized entertainment come education series for kids 10, 12 up to 10, 12 years. Means-
Correct. 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 No, no, even older ones, right? So, see, I know for a fact that there are labs today, digital labs, virtual labs, right? Which simulates experiments and all those things, right?
Mm,
Now, I'm just thinking that is only based on mathematics and science.
right.
Now, if we can actually bring in social studies, EVS,
Right.
history, right, and make it much more,
Interesting. Right.
right, like a story,
Right.
right, going back in times,
Mm,
play those characters and
right.
things like that. It doesn't have to be a very boring subject,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
sometimes art, history, and other subjects, art, history, and other subjects actually complement the technical, parts of the maths and science because they all have to come together,
Right.
right? There is
Right.
a reason why all these subjects have been chosen.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
So tell
agree with you.
me, when you produced or right, there seems to be a lag, but anyway, what I'm saying is, tell me if you were to go back to Tulotama or even Narsama that you talked about, right?
Mm.
How much time did it take for you to put all of this together? The entire time frame.
So Narsimha and Tilotama were still short films, means 7, 8 minutes. So that was still, maybe shorter time frame, a couple of days
Mhm.
of, reading.
Correct.
What does it mean? Let If I talk about Chandravedia, which we released last month, it's like a 5 episode thing. So I had to plan it beforehand, and it took me at least 3 to 4 weeks
Mm.
and shooting down multiple ideas before I said that this is a good storyline for
Right.
episode one. And obviously, I was taking help of Chat GPT. I was taking help of
Mm.
Claude, for bouncing off ideas, bouncing off storylines, and whether
Mm.
this makes sense. Create one version, then
Mm.
give it to Chat GPT and say what are the pick holes in this script, and then take the same, go to Claude, pick holes in this, and so the again, this is something to do with film telling and filmmaking and storytelling. The idea of creating the story or the narrative
Mhm.
is very, very important. If you get that right, the technical
Mm.
aspects are relatively easier to achieve. But if you don't get the story in place, then how much ever
Yeah.
effect you put with the visuals and all, it's not going to. So the most important thing is having the right story, not just with Tilotama or the Chandra Bedia web series, but even when you're
Correct.
doing with corporates, and do I have the right story that will make the video interesting? Just sound effects, visual effects, but the story is not going
Yeah.
anywhere. It will means companies just shoot it down very easily, that it's not going anywhere kind of thing. So,
Correct.
and then tools are available,
Correct. Correct.
Claude.
And who are your customers today?
So there are two things. One
Correct.
is this
Who are
firm.
your customers today?
So corporate firms who get their explainer videos,
Mm,
training videos, things done from us, brand videos. So we use
mm,
AI and we create
mhm.
stories, and then we stitch them, and through these entertainment, trying to get to the OTT space, and see how that works. So both means
Mm.
I've got a small team of 7 to 8
Correct.
people. That's the core member, and we work across both the
Mhm.
segments. So some of uh, there are some, especially
Okay.
state departments or companies that want to train their employees, their salespeople, and they want videos now very quickly and at a lower price. If they
Mhm.
use the traditional way of shooting somebody then editing, it is
Right.
expensive. With AI avatars, so just because, let's say, I was shooting
Mm.
something and then one statement
Yeah.
needed to be
Yeah.
added in that. Then how do you do that?
Correct.
In the once the video is ready. But with AI, adding that one sentence,
Mm.
changing things here and there is very easy.
Correct.
So so a lot of these companies who are building training videos for their own stakeholders, or some companies want training videos, for example, EdTech companies, they want videos for their students, for their learners, that can also be
Mm.
created. So
Mhm.
that's one set of customers for us. Another set of customers are to
Correct.
do this with entertainment, filmmaking, and so.
I see. Good. Good. So, what are your current challenges?
Uh, Challenges is I think I'm thinking about scaling. So how do how do
Right.
I scale it, in a way that it doesn't add pressure, but it is also enjoyable. That journey should be enjoyable, means should I bootstrap, should I
Correct.
take
Correct.
something, So these are some of the things that I'm grappling with,
Mm.
because operationally things
Mm.
seem to be in place. I'm not worried too much about the
Mm.
operational side of
Great.
it.
Good. Good. So, if you had a magic wand, that you want to apply to some of those challenges, where would you? It's basically customer acquisition is what you're looking at.
Yeah, means some
Correct.
retainer based customers, few, that keeps that
Correct.
helps me with
Correct.
the once the cash flow thing is out of your mind, as a business owner, then you can focus everything on
Correct.
creativity, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So, again, how long have you been with the EdTech WhatsApp group?
I think couple of years since Urdu invited
Okay.
me, so.
Okay. Great. Great. And so, what do you get out of the? Because see, it has a very varied variance, right? Audience,
Right.
right? You have school owners, you have teachers, you have
It is
EdTech
a complete ecosystem
vendors,
of education,
product.
you can say that.
Correct.
So
Correct.
being in
Right.
this industry, it's always good to hear viewpoints. I think the best thing about this group is I think it is unadulterated. So it's very pure in
Mm.
terms of the kind of ideas that are exchanged, and people behind this group. I'm sure Vardu is working, but there are others also. Maybe you are also as the, but kudos to all of you to keeping it unadulterated and worth means worth it, being part of this group.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I think that is true because that is one of the things I was also telling Vardarajan the other day, right? So the I think the minimum rules that we have are very sound
right.
and people do not violate that.
Right.
which is good. And it's all for, how do I exchange ideas? If I have any challenges, how do I ask for it? Things like that. So, any final thoughts, any suggestions, any comments, final thoughts before,
See, couple of them,
for the
means
club, for you?
from
Yeah.
a digital marketing perspective, I would always say, based
Hmm.
on my experience, as a teacher and as well as a edtech, that fundamentals of marketing are non-negotiable. Means unless
Correct.
you
Correct.
understand
Yeah.
your target audience, unless you know what they are interested in, how much ever you see, marketing cannot solve business problems. Marketing can solve
Yeah.
marketing
Yeah.
problems. So unless you get the fundamentals right, then marketing will really help you. But so that is one thing. So tools and all will come later. First, see whether the marketing fundamentals are in place. If the marketing fundamentals are in place, you will figure out what, if this is not working, that will work. That is not
Correct.
working, then third thing will work. But fundamentals have to be in place. And other thing I would say is AI is there. It's a reality. I know, means I don't want to,
Hmm.
it can be blasphemous kind of thing to say that AI is killing jobs or something, but it's also not to be taken lightly.
Correct.
Means it is a reality. Uh, our kids will
Correct.
have to face
Yeah.
a much bigger challenge than we did, because what AI brings. But the only way to fight technology is to embrace it. Means there is no other way to override
Absolutely.
technology. If you embrace it, it will show you a
Correct.
way forward.
Correct.
And one more thing I would say,
Correct.
means
Correct.
eh,
No, thank you very much. I think, yeah, please go ahead.
if you get a chance, watch the movie and the web series on the big screen, and you will see that how AI is actually, means sometimes, again, I would say it's a matter of pride, in a sense that of course it also means negative things for a lot of
Yeah.
people, because I have not used any camera, any equipment,
Right.
any outdoors, any dubbing artist, nothing. So though this is an experiment, there are some good things about it, and there are some bad things about it. But if you see it on the big screen, the short film or the web series, you will feel a cinematic effect. And obviously there's a lot of human work included in that. It's not just AI. Without humans it wouldn't be
Correct.
cinematic.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And do let me know
Correct.
what you think
Correct.
about it.
Correct. No, no, I absolutely, I will do that. Yeah. No, no, definitely I will do that, and I'll also tell you my feedback. But you're absolutely right. So, if I were to summarize your journey from a technical perspective, right? You worked on the telecom world, then you went into IoT, then you went into digital marketing, then now into videos,
Filmmaking.
right? So, basically, I think you can talk about all these three or four things,
Right.
right?
But
And
there's a
and that is
common
something
thing,
I'm sure
which
the
is technology.
audience.
So
And what is the common thing?
technology. It's
Technology,
all
right?
it's all
Correct, correct.
that's the
Yeah,
common
absolutely.
thing.
And yeah, correct, correct. No, no, absolutely. The technology is there, and as you rightly pointed out, AI is there, and in what form or shape we need to and adapt, adopt and adapt, right? So because we also need to adopt it, and also we need to adapt and grow ourselves, and especially the next generation. Because I think I see a lot of value in that, but it also helps us to think more creatively,
Right,
right?
right,
Which
absolutely.
probably did not happen before,
Right, right.
right? And it is not going to do all our work,
No,
right? At this point of time. So I'm also seeing a lot of uses for that. So thank you very much again, Sachin, for your time.
thank you very
It
much.
was lovely chatting with you,
Nice
and
talking to you.
hopefully others
We'll
will
catch up
benefit
again
from
sometime.
this chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye bye.